Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ.
Hi, it's Vinny. You're watching Don't Share Boxing Nation.
Yo, but we gonna make it happen. We gonna make it happen. Let me see what they do in Australia first. You know, if we don't like what they do,
should be the next
we gonna
fight,
make this
man.
fight
This
happen.
should be the next fight.
It should be the next fight, right?
Pressure, pressure, pressure. Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So I told you guys a couple days ago, before this video was released, was uploaded on Mike Tyson's channel, I told you just off of what Teofimo Lopez had told us when he was explaining how the interview with Mike Tyson went. He implied that Mike Tyson was putting a lot of pressure on him to fight Devin Haney. But when Teo explained the situation, he never really wanted to mention Devin Haney's name in the context of Mike Tyson kept telling him, when are you gonna fight Devin? I wanna see you fight Devin. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and play the clip of Teofimo Lopez trying to explain what Mike Tyson told him when it comes to the Devin Haney situation. Check it out.
There was a lot of things that we talked on and that we got on topic about. But when it came to the boxing part, he did tell me, you know, why you guys, we got to make these fights happen. You know, he was a lot of instigating when it came to, you know, we had FaceTime Devin Haney, you know.
So you notice when Teo is explaining, he says that Mike Tyson was telling him we got to make these fights happen. No, the truth is Mike Tyson throughout the entire show, he was telling him, we want to see you fight Devin Haney. Can he be next? Then Teo, he says, there was a lot of instigating when it comes to, and then he says, then we FaceTime Devin Haney. See, he didn't want to say there was a lot of instigating when it comes to him wanting me to fight Devin Haney. And you guys just heard in the clip that I just played that Teo, he told Mike Tyson, we're going to see what happens in Australia with George. And if that fight doesn't happen, and that's when Mike Tyson cut him off, he said, no, Devin Haney should be next. Mike Tyson is basically telling Teo, this is the fight that the people want to see. People want to see you against Devin. And Tyson is not dissing George Kamnosos, but he's just saying these are the fights that the people want to see right now. He did the same thing with Ryan Garcia. He told Ryan Garcia, can this fight be next? Ryan said, oh, it's written in stone, it's gonna be next. Right after he left the Mike Tyson show, he's talking about fighting Pacquiao in an exhibition. So I shouldn't even say he's talking about fighting Pacquiao, he's talking about sparring Pacquiao. And then when it comes to Teofimo Lopez, Mike Tyson put so much pressure on Teo, he got the man to say, oh, we fighting him next, just like Ryan said. Oh, we fighting him next, we fighting him next. Even though his dad was just saying almost everything, every different direction. You know, one minute he'll say, yeah, we gonna fight him, we gonna fight him. I'm the one that told my son, you need to fight Devin. But then after he says that, then he starts saying, Devin, why don't you fight this guy first? Why don't you fight Lomachenko? Why don't you fight these guys, et cetera, et cetera. So they were all over the place. You see, the thing with Mike Tyson is he doesn't understand the racial politics and double standards that exist in the sport of boxing. He's only looking at things purely from a boxing fan's perspective. He just sees this as, these are the fights we want to see, so why can't you guys make the fights happen? Why won't you fight Devin Haney? That's what we want to see. There was even a time in the interview where Mike Tyson, he asked him, did you want to moonlight at 140, maybe, you know, take a fight over there and then come back down to 135. This is what Mike Tyson said, right? So of course, Teo was like, yeah, you know, I like the Josh Taylor versus Ramirez fight. You know, I'm really interested in seeing what happens with that fight and, you know, fighting the winner of that fight. And then Mike Tyson, he finished the sentence by saying, and then you're going to move back down to 135, right? When he says that, the co-host of the show, this guy, he kind of cuts off Mike Tyson and starts, you know, talking about, oh, well, you don't have to move back down. You could keep moving up. You could stay at 140 and then move up to 147. Basically, he was saying something on those lines. Mike Tyson jumped back in the conversation. He said, but 135 is where all the money is at. Mike Tyson said, ain't no money. There's nobody at 140. That's what he said. And T.O. kind of agreed with him. But then T.O. tried to say, but I've been at this weight for a long, long time, and eventually I'm going to have to move up to 140. The point is, Mike Tyson, he acknowledged that 135 is where it's at. It makes no sense to move up to 140, at least not right now. And quite frankly, even if T.O. was to move up to 140, why not fight one of these guys at a catch weight if you decide to move up before you fight these guys? See, if Mike Tyson was on his lawyer game, he could have just said to T.O., well, if that's the case that you feel that you're going to have to eventually move up to 140 pretty soon, why don't you skip Kamnosos and fight the guys that matter right now before you can no longer make the weight at 135? I mean, why does fighting a mandatory even matter when you're not even going to be at this weight that long? And then you got this racist clown on the show with Mike Tyson, the co-host. This man is sitting over here. He's saying at the beginning of the show, while Mike Tyson is trying to push for T.O. to fight the best guys in the division, this man cuts off Mike Tyson and says, wait, man, you're bringing up all these other fighters talking about Ryan Garcia, Devin, and all these guys, when we're sitting here right now with a man that's not afraid of anyone because he just beat the best fighter. And then he says this, arguably the greatest fighter of all time. He just beat that man, so he's not afraid of anyone. This man just told Mike Tyson that Lomachenko was arguably the greatest fighter of all time. Do you guys remember how upset Mike Tyson got when Floyd Mayweather called himself TBE? This pissed off Mike Tyson something awful because Mike Tyson said, no one is greater than the greatest Muhammad Ali. He was really upset when he heard Floyd Mayweather call himself TBE. So now this white man gets on Tyson's show and he says that Lomachenko is arguably greater than Muhammad Ali, greater than Mike Tyson himself, greater than Sugar Ray Robinson, greater than Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, and anyone else that we call the greats. This man just said that Loma is possibly greater than all of them. Now, and I'm gonna play a clip of part of what he says when he has the exchange with Mike Tyson, but this clip doesn't include the part where he says that Lomachenko is arguably the greatest fighter of all time. You guys are gonna have to watch the whole interview on Tyson's channel to catch that part. But just notice when I play this clip, how this guy, he continues trying to praise Teofimo without ever asking him, will he fight Devin Haney? Who is he gonna fight next? It's praise. He praises Teo as if Teo is already retired and he doesn't have to fight anyone. But it's Mike Tyson who's saying, yeah, okay, I get all it. He's great in this, but we need to match him against someone. We need to match him against other great opponents. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm gonna play the clip so you see what I'm talking about. Mike Tyson is saying, no matter what you say about Teo, we need to see him in there against these guys. But this white guy, he's doing the same thing that Chris Mannix does, the same thing that Max Kellerman does. They're trying to praise Teo as if he's retired and he no longer has to fight anyone. Check out the clip.
So we just talked up a fight yesterday, huh? We guaranteed. Tank said guaranteed his next fight's gonna be with our man, right? Ryan Garcia. Right. Cause Ryan talked about him so bad. God damn.
Yeah, but you're bringing up other fighters when you got a guy who is afraid of no one. He just beat the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. He didn't blink. And
who would you like to fight next, brother?
Everybody. Everybody that's anybody.
Who do you want him right now?
All the guys at my division, whatever it's Devin, Garcia, Tank, whether it's my mandatories or anything, going up to 140, then we talk about 47.
You have these guys' numbers. Tell us, we was here yesterday with some guy. Yeah, you have these guys' numbers he's talking about. Man,
look at his.
Mike wants to start something.
He's licking his chops.
Come on, call some of them. Call Devin.
My chops, because that's food.
Call Devin.
Mike, do you recognize this energy?
Energy's beautiful, but we need something to match it. We need some.
Can't nobody
I
miss
know.
this energy, Mike. Come on.
I know, but you're looking at it, and this used to be a space that you lived in.
There's no doubt about it. That's why I'm getting excited with the other opponent.
Mike's just an instigator at this point. He just wants an instigator. I love it.
Nah, you don't love it at all. Because if you loved it, you would not be calling Mike Tyson an instigator. You would be calling him a great promoter. And you would have been on the same page as Mike Tyson, also pushing for the Devin Haney fight or any other fight when it comes to the Final Four. See, guys, Devin, he looks at all these guys like Chris Mannix, Max Kellerman, and this guy right here, and he feels like, man, these guys, they're really pulling for me. They really got my back, etc., etc. But Teo has to ask himself, if guys are trying to protect you from certain fighters, what are they saying about your skills? Because no one is trying to protect Devin. You're the only one that people are trying to protect. You need to ask yourself, what does that say about you? I mean, imagine you out somewhere, you got some guy trying to punk you. He challenging you to a fight, right? Now, you done been in situations like this a lot, where people challenge you and you fought them. And let's say you with your girl, and your girl, she's seen you, fight a lot of people, beat up a lot of cats, right? But there's this one guy in particular. He's trying to punk you, he's challenging you. Your girl is standing there, and she turns around and she looks at you and she says, oh, no. Baby, don't fight him. Don't fight him. He looked dangerous. He looked like he could really hurt you. Let's just ignore him and get out of here. Now, how would you take that if your girl did that? And she's never done that before, but she does it when it comes to this one guy trying to punk you. You're gonna know right away what she's trying to imply. And that's the same thing Max Kellerman and all these other old media members are implying when they try to protect you. When you the takeover don't need no protection. You're the takeover. That's your name. When you the takeover, don't nobody need to hold your hand. You could walk across the street all by yourself, right? So yeah, Teo, they are riding for you. They are rooting for you, but they're begging you to stay away from the boogeyman when you're supposed to be the boogeyman yourself. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. Make sure you go ahead and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram.